Hey everybody, my name's Ed. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. Today we're going to take a look at Black Rain from 1989, and then we're going to look at Black Rain again from 1989. Two movies with the exact same title that coincidentally came out during the same year. Okay, so the first one we're going to take a look at is an American film, Black Rain. This one is from 1989, directed by Ridley Scott, who's done Blade Runner, Aliens, Thelma and Louise, Gladiator, starring Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia, Ken Takakara, and Kate Capshaw. The film is an action thriller where a couple of New York cops find themselves in Japan and involved in a gang war between Yakuza mobs and find themselves in fish out of water situations, and contrasting the different approaches between the American and Japanese police investigations, and to a lesser extent, American and Japanese culture. Okay, so while in their hometown city of New York City, Nick, played by Douglas, and his partner Charlie, played by Garcia, stumble upon an incident involving Japanese mobsters. They're ordered to escort a Japanese hitman back to Osaka, but lose him once they get there. They team up with a local policeman, Masashiro, played by uh, Takakura, and find him an undercover. They find and to find him and undercover a yakuza scheme. So along the way, Nick meets Joyce, played by Capshaw, who runs a local nightclub. Nick is able to work with her to get information. Nick is constantly frustrated by the rules and regulations of Japan, and he struggles to deal with his own personal demons. The movie contains a couple of interesting twists, but eventually Nick and Masahiro learn to respect each other and work together to discover the plot, or to yeah, discover what's going on, catch the bad guys. Okay, so we've got good performances from all the main characters. Michael Douglas' character Nick is written as a stereotypical road cop, but Douglas fills the character out by playing him as a guy with anger management problems. There's a twist two-thirds of the way in that actually gives his behavior more depth and almost explains his character's somewhat erratic character. Garcia, as Nick's best friend and partner, is friendly and engaging. Takura does a great job as a quiet and repressed Japanese officer who's assigned to handle Nick and Garcia. Kate Catshaw is good, but I think her character is underutilized. Okay, so now it is a very 80s style action movie. A lot of tropes are present. You have the divorced cop. He's a guy who doesn't play by the rules. He argues with the suits, but he gets results. He has a supportive best friend who's likable but meets tragedy. We get some fish out of water gags. So it's definitely a buddy flick with the contrasting leads. One thing that's interesting here is that it starts off as a buddy flick with Nick and Charlie, and then halfway through becomes a buddy movie about Nick and Moss. Okay, so some of the things I find a little questionable. Uh, Nick is actually an asshole, and most of the bad things that happen in the first half of the movie are, in fact, his fault, although the movie plays it as if he's in the right. He does things he has no authority to. He's very entitled and self centered. There's many times where logically he should have been arrested for his behavior, and it's never made clear what type of detective he's supposed to be in the first place. Is he a homicide detective? Is he working drugs? I'm not sure there's a real reason that he should have been assigned to take the hitman back to Japan after the State Department got involved. Also, things happen and hunches play out just because it's a movie. People seem to know things they shouldn't, but do just because we're in a movie. I'd say Kate Capshaw character is really wasted. She's not quite a love interest, not quite the damsel in distress. However, she's also not quite someone who's really moving the plot forward. She's someone who supports Nick, even though she doesn't really have a compelling reason to do so. So I just think there's a lot more that could have been done with her. And and also the main villains, when we get to them, they're a little thin. Not bad, but a little thin. Now, having said all that, Black Rain is a great looking film. It's this one, like most of Scott's other ones, has a great visual style. We get these sweeping camera pans, deep focus city scenes, lots of striking and bold colors. The credit for the great cinematography has to go to Jean de Bont. who's done Die Hard, Lethal Weapon 3, Speed, and some other blockbusters. And the movie also has a really nice score from Hans Zimmer. So, to wrap it up, Black Rain, the American movie, the script has a number of cliches that, however, the professionals here kind of make a movie that's actually better than the material they were given. Ridley's other movies have gotten better critical reviews, but this one was still a hit. It's got good acting by Douglas Garcia, Tinkara, and Capshaw, who were able to flesh out the characters. Black Rain has great looking film visually and has great structure that draws the viewer in. Nice editing and pacing with a compelling score, resulting in a fun entertainment product. Okay, so another movie that I wouldn't necessarily call fun is Black Rain, directed by, I'm going to say some of these names wrong, so I apologize. So it's uh, Shohei Imamura and starring Yoshiko Tanaka, Kazu Kitamura, and Etsuko Ichihara. Released in 1989, Black Rain is a Japanese film about a family who deals with the aftermath of the atomic bomb attacks of Hiroshima. It was based on a novel by Masushi Ibuse, Ibuse. Sorry. The movie opens with the end of World War II. So Shingamatsu and his wife Shigeko and their niece Yasuko witness the bombing of Hiroshima. They try to flee the area and counter the devastation caused by the atomic bomb. 5 years later, they and other townspeople are still dealing with a variety of after effects, including economic despair, health issues, and PTSD. At the same time, Shigemutsu and Shigeko try to find a husband for their now adult niece Yasuko. Throughout the film, we witness their struggles and those of various villagers. So, this Black Rain has a number of interesting characters. We have a husband who tries to keep his family together despite his health issues, his dutiful wife, their now adult niece who's kind of sympathetic to all the people she encounters. Others include a grandmother in the last stages of her life, and then we also get various townspeople and get a glimpse of their situations as well. So now this movie is shot in black and white, and it is a very nice looking film. Credit goes to Takashi. I'm going to say it wrong. I apologize. Kawamata. The whole thing is nicely edited with nice visual composition. So I'd say this movie deals with a variety of ideas such as despair and poverty, but we also get hope and commitment and duty. So we see people with burnt flesh and fires, but we also see people trying to have some compassion for others in the community. We see devastated neighborhoods, people who get sick years after a bomb, but also charming people who are just trying to get by. Some people give into superstition, some people get taken advantage of. There's a character who suffers regular psychotic breaks due to the war, but is treated almost like a dark humorous gag. And although it does deal with some dark ideas, the movie is ultimately kind of bittersweet. We feel for most of the characters. Some of them are trying to plan for a future that they aren't sure will actually come. Okay, so this Black Rain, it's a movie film about a family living in Japan, struggling to deal with circumstances and consequences after the Second World War and the bombing of Hiroshima. It's a personal story, but also subtly touches on some wider societal issues. The film is well shot, good looking, and well acted, and it's good at switching tone between sad and funny while remaining coherent. So, Black Rain is a touching movie about a family dealing with how political fallout intersects with family issues. Okay, so that's it. I've got to thank you very much. Thank you for listening to my two two reviews of two Black Rains that came out both in 1989. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great day. Great day. All right.